Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Janu. If it's your first time here, I talk about all things intentional and low impact living, and I'm so happy to have you here with me today. So today I am talking about 10 budget friendly eco swaps. So I know sustainability can seem really expensive, but I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be. So I'm going to show you 10 swaps that are easy and affordable that you can make. The first tip is to refuse plastic bags at the supermarket. Now I know it can sometimes be difficult to remember to bring your own reusable bags, but for me, I put a whole bunch in my car. I literally have a bag that has like a bag full of bags that I keep in my car, and if worse comes to worse, I honestly just will throw everything in the cart, put it in my car, and then just grab a bag from inside and fill it up and take it home. I don't want to spend money on bags, because even if it's a paper bag, you still have to pay 10 cents for it, and I'm trying to save money. So you can just refuse bags altogether, and remember to bring your own bags, whether it's a plastic bag, paper bag, reusable bag, or whatever the case may be. Just bring your own bags, because although it may seem like something very, very small, it actually does make a big impact. The second swap is to replace paper towels with reusable rags. So instead of spending your money on paper towels that you use once and throw away, and you keep buying every single month, 2 weeks, whatever the case may be, just use reusable rags. I know maybe there's something that's super messy, maybe you have a pet or whatever. Real has bamboo paper towels that I would highly recommend. They might sell them in Target. I know they sell toilet paper in Target. I don't know if they're selling the paper towels in Target as well, but you can also buy it online. So that can be a good option just to have just in case there's, a pet accident or something like that. But I would highly recommend not using paper towels. I actually haven't used paper towels in I would say at least almost 2 years. And it's great because I'm not spending money on paper towels. I use it, I dry my hands on a towel, I clean my, counters with a towel, and then I just put it in the wash whenever I need to clean them. And I have a whole stack of them. So I always have more than enough, but it definitely is going to save you money because you're no longer going to spend money on paper towels, but you're buying something once, and rags aren't that expensive. You buy it once and you're pretty much using it forever. The third tip is to repair and not replace. So before you throw out those pair of socks or that t-shirt, can you sew it up? Can you put a patch on it? Find ways to either reuse something, upcycle something, repair something before you just throw it out. So before you throw out that plastic container, can you actually upcycle it and use it for storage? Can you use it to put a plant in it? What can you do with it before you just automatically throw it away? I'm always trying to find ways to repair something before I replace it, because when you're replacing something, you're buying something new, which using what you already have is the most sustainable option, of course, but it's also going to save you a ton of money to not have to go out and buy something new. My fourth tip is to bring your own reusable coffee mug to the coffee shop. So I'm not a coffee drinker, I'm a matcha girl. I love my matcha with oat milk all day, every day. And it can be super wasteful to use a paper cup that is disposable. So I think a lot of people think that, oh, it's paper, so it's not bad, but actually the paper is actually lined with plastic, because in order for it to not leak, for the liquid to not leak, you actually have to line it with plastic. So next time you see a single-use cup, I would look inside of it, and you can feel the sort of plastic part of it that's different from the paper, and so that actually can't be recycled. So I know with everything going on, a lot of places aren't accepting reusable cups, but actually Starbucks is now taking reusable cups, give you I think maybe 10% off, or I think it's 10 cents off of your drink. I'm all about supporting local coffee shops over the big ones, highly recommend it, but if you're a Starbucks, bring your own reusable one. It just depends on where you are. I know there's a coffee shop that's near me, and they'll actually clean the cup for me in their dishwasher, which will take I don't know, 30 seconds. They'll steam it to disinfect it and then use it, which is great. It's just, I don't know, little things like coffee cups are just so wasteful, because if you think about how many people go to a coffee shop every day and use disposable cups, it's so many. So if there's small actions that you can take every day, that really does make a big difference in the long run. My next tip is to buy seasonal produce, because seasonal produce is going to be cheaper than produce that's not in season. Not only for environmental reasons is it better to buy what's in season, but it's also better for your budget as well, because it's going to be a lot cheaper. They usually have a surplus of that item, so you're gonna get it for a lot cheaper than if you were to buy it off season. The next tip is to ditch the plastic wrap, that Glad wrap, that single use that you're spending money on all the time. I would definitely ditch that and opt for beeswax wrap. If you're someone that's vegan and you don't want to use beeswax wraps, they have vegan beeswax wraps available. And of course, I'm going to link all these products in the description box below so you have access to it and you can look at it later. I definitely love my beeswax wraps for storing maybe fruit in it or storing a sandwich in it. It's just super easy to take on the go. It's lightweight. It lasts a very long time and you can actually compost it at the end of life. The next tip we've all heard, but it's super simple, super easy, but people still don't do it, and it's switching lights off and unplugging items. So if I'm traveling somewhere for a month, I'm gonna unplug my computers and unplug my TV and things like that. Or if I'm leaving my house, I make sure to turn off the AC, or I make sure to turn off all the lights. It's very small, but it actually does make a big difference, and you're saving money because you're cutting down on that energy bill. And then in terms of, water usage, just being more mindful of what we're using, I think makes a huge impact on the world around us, and it's saving you money as well because you're not spending as much money on your water and energy bills. The next swap that's going to save you money is reusable period products. Now, these can be definitely an investment up front. They're pretty pricey. I feel like a menstrual cup is probably $30, $40. Period panties are probably around the same price. And while it does seem like a lot, it actually is saving you a ton of money. Because if you think about the amount of money you're spending on tampons or whatever the case may be monthly, it actually is saving you a ton of money. And even if you're someone that doesn't use a menstrual cup, which honestly, I'm not quite there yet. I keep trying. It just doesn't work for me. But if you're using period underwear, for example, instead of panty liners, then you're saving a ton of money because you're not buying panty liners anymore, and you're saving on a ton of waste because you're not throwing something in the trash that's going to end up in landfill. So yes, it is a bit of an investment up front, but it's going to save you money over time. My next tip is, instead of using single-use cotton swabs to remove makeup, you can opt for reusable cotton rounds. So I would highly recommend, if you're doing cotton rounds, to make sure they're big enough, because I think I've seen a lot where they're this small, and I feel like when you're wiping off makeup off your face and you use both sides, I feel like I still have dirt on my face. So either find one that's really big, or you can do what I sometimes do as well, is I'll take a washcloth, like a small washcloth, and cut it up into fours, and then you can use that as well. And that's a great DIY option instead of going out and buying cotton rounds. And it's gonna save you a ton of money because you're not buying every, month or so. Cotton balls or rounds gonna go straight into the trash and go straight into landfill. So it's gonna save you a ton of money, and they're actually not that expensive, but the best budget option is just to use an old washcloth or towel, cut that up, and that can be your reusable cotton rounds. My last tip is to buy a safety razor over a disposable razor. So I know safety razors can seem really scary, but this is actually one of the first swaps I made when I transitioned to a low waste life. The actual body itself of the razor can be expensive depending upon where you get it. I mean, I've seen some range from $10 to $50. It just all depends where you purchase it from. But once you buy that, that's literally gonna last you pretty much forever. One quick tip is to make sure you dry it. So if you have it in the shower and you're using it, make sure you dry it so it doesn't rust. But all you have to do is replace the blades every, couple weeks or so, or whenever you feel like the blade is getting dull. And the blades, you can buy a pack of 10 for, probably less than $10. It's super affordable, and it's gonna last you a long time. That pack of 10 for $10 is gonna last you at least a year. For me, I probably change out the razor maybe every other month or so. So it just depends on how often you shave, but it definitely is a more affordable option than buying these single-use razors that are gonna go straight to landfill, have these plastic handles, you can't recycle them. So I think it's a great option. And in terms of recycling the blades, there are different companies that have recycling programs. You can put them in a little container and then recycle them because they are aluminum, but you have to be careful. You can't just throw them in the recycling because you don't want anyone to get hurt. So there's a special way to recycle them. I'll put in the description box below all that information so you have it. Let me know in the comment section below if you've already done any of these swaps, if there's any swaps you would like to add that are very budget friendly. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.